Welcome to the Living Ageless and Bold podcast. Each episode, I bring you amazing women who inspire, educate, and share their experiences and journeys along the way. So grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's relax and have some fun hearing what can be accomplished after 55. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Living Ageless and Bold. Our veterans are the ones who keep us safe and allow us to live in this amazing country. And very sadly, we often kind of discard them when they come back. We don't take care of them. My guest today is Naomi Reynolds. She is a U.S. Army veteran. Thank you for your service. She's an author, an advocate, empowering women veterans to rise above adversity through resilience, healing, and purpose-driven leadership. And I think what she's doing is just amazing. And I can't wait to talk to her more. So welcome, Naomi.
Thank you, Christina. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh my gosh, you have really a storied career, quite a journey. And I always love to tell the story because women our age, we don't just get here. It was a path. And let's talk a little bit, let's go back because you are where you are today because of things that happened in your past.
Yes. Where should I start, Christine?
It's so good. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you, I think I was in the Army during the Vietnam War, or wasn't a declared war, as you know, but I was in during that time. And I had several different stations. Right now, I am working with other veterans along with some of our Congress folks to get some laws passed for women who had been who were in the Army back 1948 up until 1975. During that time, you couldn't have children and stay in the military. If you got pregnant,
I have to tell you, I interviewed the GM of the Fever, the women's basketball team. And when she grew up in Alabama, it was illegal for girls to play sports.
Yeah.
And to hear you say again, in our lifetime, if you got pregnant, you could not serve our country. Like that just, I don't know. It's mind blowing to me.
I know. So it did go to court, and a quick fact, our Supreme Court Ginsburg, who's no longer with us, was one of the first young attorneys to go before the Supreme Court to get them to stop making women having abortions, because that was a thing too. Go have an abortion, you can stay. I had that option. I left in 1970. When I was pregnant after a rape, and I decided to keep my baby. I love my daughter. Of course, she's grown now with 2 kids of her own and a sterling career. So I'm very proud of her. So I decided to have my daughter, raised her alone, never been married. I do have some mental health issues due to all of that happening in my lifetime.
I would think so. And
but you learn some coping skills to try to get by and make the best of it. Well, eventually I was awarded a 100% compensation. But most
did this happen while you were in the military? It did, right?
I was in the military. Yeah. I did not see compensation until about 2014, when I found myself homeless and in a domiciliary at the VA hospital. And it was a shock to me because that's not who I had been. You know, I had a very excellent career in the oil business. I owned my own gas stations and convenience stores. So you make do. There was nothing I would do.
What happened? Was it the result of the mental health issues from that you just couldn't cope anymore?
Yes. It got to the point where I couldn't cope. Well, you know, you do what you have to do when you have a child. So I raised my daughter alone, and you tend to not let those other things get in the way because that's my job. I
That's what
decided
moms do.
that's what moms do. And I wanted my daughter. There's no way I was going to have an abortion. Well, it turned out by 1974, the courts ruled and said that the military should not be kicking women out because they were pregnant. So now we're in a legislative piece. HR 6023 is the Veterans Restitution and Justice Act. So we're trying to get that brought forward, but it was the order came down in 1974, so it's been 40 years since that happened, and nothing has been done yet. So that's
Were
our purpose
you
right now is to get that done.
how long have you been involved in this? Since the 70s?
No, we had no notice of it. The military doesn't ever keep you up to breast about what's going on. So that happened, but nobody bothered to maybe write a letter or say things have changed if you want to come back. And that's the way the court put it. Find those women, bring them back if they want to come back. Well, now I'm 75, so I'm not going back. I'd work in an office or something if I could help that way. So we're still working on that, and I'm hopeful that with this a different administration, maybe we can change some veterans things. I don't know. I do know that as of today, many veterans are waking up today and have lost a part of their compensation, and I'm one of them. There was a mandate made, I guess I would say it must have been 2023, that veterans be told that they're in jeopardy of losing their compensation. Now, nobody explained what that was. Well, I finally got my letter and it said you will go from 100% to 50%. That's a big jump in finances. I have a mortgage. And it's just me. Like I said, I've never been married, so everything I do is me. And my two dogs, of course.
You babies.
So that's our big battle right now. I participate on X with veterans, on Facebook with veterans to try to get the word out. So today we did get official notice that anybody who's been 100% from 2 to 5 years, we are looking at cutting you. So I am going before the Board of Appeals right now in Washington, D.C. to try to get my compensation back. Otherwise, I think I will suffer my mental health and my finances all together, and that won't be pretty.
How many people are impacted by this right now?
We've been trying to find out. I put the word out and asked for anybody that might be impacted to let me know because we may have to go to court. Certainly, I've sent notices to President Trump, to Secretary Doug Collins, and to anybody else I could think of. But I did go before the Washington, D.C. Board of Appeals on the 7th of this month. Very nice judge. Normally, if you go before somebody, they question you. You don't get to talk very much. But this was a wonderful judge, and I've heard great things about the Board of Appeals. So I'm looking forward to their decision within the next 30 days. And I'm hopeful and prayerful that they will restore my money, or I don't know what could happen at that point. I do suffer from suicidal ideation. I talk out loud about it because it's important to hear me say that. And it's important that other people who have mental health issues, they call it passive suicidal ideation. It means that certain circumstances would set you off. My daughter and my grandchildren, I haven't seen them in years due to my mental health. So when holidays come or their birthdays come, that's when I go into crisis. And I'm aware of it. I know what to do. And I hope that one day I don't go into crisis and not be able to come out of the dark. We all have to, every time you call VA, they'll ask you, do you have a gun? Do you have pills?
I was going to ask you, are there resources through the VA for you right now? When you have this, you can call somebody and get help?
The suicide hotline, 988. They have been angels for me. I tell you, I probably call them at least once a week. I did have a therapist the VA has a lot of people that they bring in from other countries. They go back to their country, or they have interns. They go back and start. So you don't get um, personalized mental health care at all. I called today to see if they had reassigned me a therapist, and they said December 10th. Anything could happen to me between now and December 10th. So they did tell me in an emergency, go to the nearby VA and tell them that you're in crisis and they'll see you. So I'm scared to do that actually, because I'll go there and sit there for 3 or 4 hours and might not get help, and then I'll be worse off, you know. VA has come a long way. Like I said, when I first went in, there were no resources for women, no clinics, no health care. When I had my baby, I had to go to an Air Force base over in Dyess Air Force Base near Abilene, Texas, to have my baby. The government paid everything for me to have my baby, but they didn't pay for my baby's food. I had to pay for my baby. And after I left, that was it. No more contact with the VA. They never told us that things were changing. It's sort of like cutting our compensation. We never got any official notice. They said, well, we sent you a letter. Well, maybe you did. Things happen, but when you're talking about taking away somebody's finances, that's serious. That needs to be broadcast over the news everywhere to veterans. But the VA is not good at communicating. We find out things later after it's happened. But I'm optimistic about our future as veterans.
Well, and you're not alone. How many women veterans are there?
Oh my God. In Texas, we have the largest amount of veterans. We have a couple of thousand in Texas, and then comes California, and then comes Florida, and then everybody else after. But Texas has the largest number of women veterans. We do.
So I hope, I was just going to say, I hope, you say you go every day, you struggle with this. I hope you can find some, I don't know, proudness, gratitude for what you're doing for all these thousands of women who don't have a voice like you do, who, you went to an appeals court. If you win, that could help thousands of people.
Yes.
So I hope you can find a glimmer of hope in that when times are bad for you, that, hey, but look what I'm doing to help other people.
Thank you, Christine. That is what keeps me going. That is what keeps me going. We've got a whole new generation of women coming out, So if we can set some standards now, those of us as we move on, and leave something behind, a legacy for the other women, because sexual harassment, sexual assaults are still prevalent in the Army. Most women say today it's worse than ever before. And you kind of look at it and you say,
Really?
why? Why is that the culture? But
does anybody say anything? You would think that it would not be, that we are aware. We have social media. We have cell phones. We can take pictures and videos, and it's not as easy to hide as it was. So
before.
Why do you think it's more prevalent?
I think we still have young ladies and the older ones, the ones I'm talking to now in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some of them have gotten to the point now where they don't even want to deal. It's a mental fight to deal with the VA.
Sure.
And I don't know why they make it so difficult, And everybody told me, go get an attorney, go get a veteran service officer. Well, I've never done that because I never felt comfortable with that. I think that the VA ought to be able to provide us with our services without us having to go to an attorney. That should be a customer service kind of a thing. Service for our service. So we have to work on that part. But
what about when you have like a big group gets together, like a class action type of thing?
We may have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, you have thousands and thousands of women impacted, and you find an attorney who's like, hey, I'll work for all of you and be compensated at the end.
I tell you, that's what we've been looking for. So far, we haven't found any takers. Now, I did
Yeah.
a broadcast with Mr. Dunn, a podcast, and he had an attorney to get his 100%. And after he heard what was happening, he said he would recommend his attorney to me. So I'm hopeful that we'll still get some help. You know, there are attorneys that might take it, but a lot of them are still working on the COVID-19 people who got
Yeah.
kicked out for COVID. It's a lot of them too. And then you have the don't ask, don't tell, the gay
Right.
side that's fighting for their money now, their compensation too, because they got kicked out. Um, so it's a vicious circle. So, like I tell the ladies, we can only pick one piece of this. I wish we could advocate for all veterans for everything, but right now it's
Right.
kind of take a big piece of that elephant. And right now we need to take care of these women. We need to take care of veteran
Yes.
women. Now, don't get me wrong, men have been sexually assaulted too. So we have some of them in our ranks as well. So I'm hopeful that we'll continue to get the word out, and I'll get my book out soon. And I'm looking at, you know, now this is a no-no. Everybody who does speaking engagements will tell you, stop speaking for free. Well, it's not for free in my mind. If I can get a group where there is one or two of us, we have a group,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk, you know.
So if I'm watching or listening and I'm a woman veteran and I've, some things happened along the way, or I've lost this compensation, how do I start? What do I do? Do I call you? Is there a group? Like, what do we do?
We do have what we call an MST, Military Sexual Trauma Group, on Facebook. So you can go to Facebook and look up Military Sexual Trauma. I am on X at Vet Families is my sign, at Vet Families, and you can catch up there. And I put a lot of information there, and I do have a website. It's helpingveteransthrive.com. And we're planning on doing more and more. We got to get the word out. We got to get, and I keep telling people we need a bigger stage. So you're a bigger stage, Christina, and I appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
It's important. Like I said at the beginning, I appreciate you. I live in this country. I'm able to do a podcast. My children are free, and that is because of our veterans. And we know that our government has not treated our veterans well, men or women. Nope. And I know for women, it's even worse because they could be swept under the rug. And I've heard several women veterans speak, and there are other women like you doing similar things. And my jaw is on the ground when you think about this is how we treat the people that let us live here, that let us have our freedom.
Yeah. And Christina, I say a lot. When I was in, it was Vietnam, and those mostly guys, because women weren't able to go into battle back then, only nurses and doctors. But women weren't on the front line like they are now, or they can be. So it turned out to be a totally different dynamic between the different groups of women, those who have been on the front line and actually been to war, and then those of us who just, we served in different positions as support people at home. But when those guys came back, they were all mentally ill, all of them, and a lot of them didn't go get help. So a lot of people say, well, why didn't they do anything to the guy? When those things happened, there's nobody to talk to. It used to be you had to go get a police report. You had to report them, get a police report. Nobody would do that. It wasn't until, believe it or not, Barack Obama was the one that said you don't have to prove it. If you were in the service, you could come forward now and speak to it. And that's what a lot of us have been doing. Some are still waiting with their claims. The biggest part is the claims process. We have what we call the Veterans OIG. That's the Inspector General that oversees the VA. Their latest report that came out on the 31st denoted that the Veterans Compensation Department needs totally revamping. They had software errors, which we've heard quite a bit about the government. Software errors. They were slow on claims. They denied claims they shouldn't have denied. I would have thought that the VA would say, pause. Don't do anything else until we see what we need to do. But as of today, they're cutting compensation as we speak. They're still allowed to cut compensation. Then you have to go before appeal to get it back. So I will say mentally is when you lose your money. I lost my first payment this month. It's almost paralyzing is the way I'll put it. It's a paralyzing feeling because if you don't have the money you're used to having, then all of a sudden things start to tumble. The mortgage is due, all the bills are due, everything is due, So I don't plan to lose my home. I've been a homeless veteran before without a home. And that's something I wouldn't wish on anybody in this lifetime or the next. So we've got to fight to get rid of this. Next month, I'll be attending the Texas Homeless Network Convention and speaking on behalf of veterans there. It's a big program that's going on here in Texas, and I think we can do a lot to help the veterans, especially the women here in Texas, through that program.
Yeah. It's just astounding to me that you're saying these things, that this is still happening. And so how can people get involved? Like what groups should they get involved with? How can people listening and watching help you have a bigger voice?
Well, I would say I would love to hear from them. Like I said, either on X at Vet Families or helping veterans thrive at gmail.com. Helping veterans thrive at gmail.com. And what's happening now are the women that are calling me are usually calling to find out what they should do next. And the first thing I'll say is if you've ever had any sexual problems or as far as assault, or you have any other debilitating things that have occurred to you, mental health includes a lot. Depression, PTSD, can't sleep, can't eat. There's a lot to it. So if you suspect that's you, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is file an intent to file. Just go and Google intent to file VA, and you'll get the form. Just send it in. It's not a lot to say. Send it in and then contact me and we'll go from there because you can't get anything started until you do that. If you haven't signed up at a VA facility, register now. Whether you need to go there or not, you must be registered at a VA facility. So please register and get your VA card. That's number one and number two. And get that intent to file out if you plan to. Otherwise, register at the VA, contact me, and we are planning. We wanted to go to Washington this year, but everything is so up in the air, we couldn't get in. Yeah. We wanted to go before Congress, and we will go before Congress. Because Congress, the last Congress, the 118, they are aware that the VA had planned to cut this compensation. So why no advance notice was given last year, I have no idea, but that's the government.
I was saying, don't get me started, and I don't care what side you're on. Don't get me started. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just a bunch of politicians who are, that's all they are. And that's all they are. That's all they are. And
I know.
It's frustrating.
Somebody had asked me, well, it starts at the bottom. Why don't you join your local politics and that? I'm not cut out for that. I can do my service the way I'm doing it now, getting the word out, talking to groups, helping people to get their paperwork. And I'm fighting to get the VA to get more veteran service officers. These are the people who help you through your claim. As of today, I can't find one. And there are several, not even with the DAV or the American Legion. They're supposed to be the ones you go to. There's no help. We're kind of on our own. That's why we go to the different groups that say, pay me this money and I'll help you. Now, that's against the law, too. but it comes to a point where you need the help, so you'll get it wherever you can get it, you know?
Sounds like you guys need to do a big media campaign. Get
That's
all of your members to each one go in their local media. You don't have to pay a PR person. You just, hey, this is what's happening. We have all these women veterans, and nobody will help us.
Nobody will.
And they're cutting our money. And how old? You said you're 75? 75. And sorry, now we're going to take away, how you pay your mortgage.
Yeah, I can't even work. I mean, I have other deficiencies other than not being able to be around a lot of people anymore. So.
But even it's not, and don't take this wrong, but there aren't many companies that are going to hire a 75-year-old.
I guess. Depends.
Yeah, there aren't many. I think they should. I think, and I talk about this on the podcast. Older women come with a lot of experience.
Well,
but I
worked from home since I was, 55. I worked for the IRS. I mean, I took calls. I enjoyed it, learned a lot, and understand why they're so messed up. And different companies, but I have done call center. Here from home, and I've enjoyed it, but most of them are going back home, but going back into the office. Because I started a new job with a veterans group, and they were working from home, and then the government said everybody back in, so they had to come home. I tried it for a while, but sitting in a call center is different from doing a call center from home.
Sure,
I couldn't cope. It's too many people with too much going on around me at that point. So, but I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy getting the word out. I enjoy posting on X. I enjoy posting on Facebook, and I enjoy posting on the other one, the square one. I can't ever remember.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yes. The square one.
Instagram. So I try to post, it took me a while to get used to that. I didn't even like texting, call me.
Right.
What is that texting? Call me. But I'm getting used to the new age of technology for sure. And it's not a lot of us in my age group that do that. So that's a big problem, getting the word out. They don't use computers. They're not on X. They may not even be on Facebook or
I was going to say, I would stick with Facebook for sure. Get a group, make sure you have a group on Facebook.
On Facebook,
Because the older people are.
Yeah, look for military sexual trauma on Facebook. There is a group already established, so we don't have to recreate that. So I joined in on that group, and there are some others on Facebook. Just look for all the military ones rather than starting a new group. I was telling my publisher, let's find the ones that are already established with members and work through them. I don't try to do anything new. I look for the people already that got it going, and we can join in and be a part of it with them,
Right. The power in numbers.
Power in numbers.
So, yeah.
Power in numbers.
Well, what can we do to help you?
I kind of like your idea about getting somebody in every market on TV. I don't know how to get that going, but I like that idea. That's what I told my publisher and my therapist. I said, this is big. It's got to be put out there in a big way. And I keep thinking, what can we do in a big way? Do we go on the road and do tours? I don't know. I don't know what it is we need to do, but I do like what you suggested. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah. Yeah. And offline, I can send you some stuff to help you a little bit with that. But it's, if you have people that they can interview and talk to, and it sounds like that's what you need to do our government is a disaster. It is a mess, but this is really terrible. We shouldn't treat our veterans this way.
It is.
So,
and when I look at my bank account now, I'm like, I can't live like this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live like this. Just not going to do it. No more homelessness. I've been on that journey already. I want to help others.
No veteran should ever be homeless.
Have to be homeless.
Period.
You're right. You're right. And the resources are there, but there was so much fraud.
Yeah.
They haven't cleaned it up yet. It's going to take some work. It's so much fraud, even especially, I hate to say it because I've worked in nonprofits that did well, but especially in some of the nonprofits that get the veteran funds. When I was homeless is when I learned that, when I learned a lot. You go to one nonprofit and they say, well, have you talked to anybody else? Well, yeah, well, I can't talk to you because we get points for the different veterans we help.
Oh.
So it's interesting. It is. And we've got to take it forward. We've got to take it forward and do better. We have to.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. Keep being the voice for all of these women. I know you're struggling with a lot of things yourself right now. And like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist, but know that you're helping people. Even just with this, I always say, if we can help one person, if one woman veteran is listening to this podcast, or she has a friend that she can send that to, you've changed someone's life. And you're probably doing that every single day. So I hope you can find some way to focus on that and let that bring you some joy in your life when things get bad, because you might not know it, but you're changing the world.
Thank you for that. I needed to hear that.
Oh, well, this will be recorded and you can snip it out and you can put it on your phone. And anytime you get down, I'll just listen to what Christina said.
That's right.
Well, Naomi, we'll have all of your information in the show notes. Like I said, anybody listening, watching, if you are impacted by this, if you have friends impacted by this, if you can help them in any way with exposure, with media, with anything, please do. Please share this. Share this with everybody, because this shouldn't be happening. Period. That's it. Period. So, Naomi, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you, Christina, and your audience for listening in. I appreciate you.
Thank you for listening or for watching this episode of Living Ageless and Bold. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit subscribe. And if you like the episode, I hope that you will give us a great review. You can also head over to livingagelessandbold.com and sign up for information, inspiration, and exclusive opportunities for us, women over 55. Thanks for listening. And remember, no matter what you do, keep living ageless and bold.